How can you get started in real estate investing? It's not that hard. Let's talk about it today. Hey everyone, Brittany with Brittany Hannon Real Estate. I am a real estate agent, investor, and coach, and I want to talk to you today about the steps of real estate investing. How to get in, how to get started, and what the benefits are of investing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified when videos just like this come out. Now let's jump right in. Real estate investing is a fantastic way to grow your wealth. That's one of the reasons why so many wealthy people have a lot of their money tied up in real estate. It's a great thing to be getting cash flow every month because somebody else is paying your mortgage and you're reaping the benefits of that appreciation. When we talk about real estate investing, there are a few different things that we can be talking about. We can be talking about REIT, which is a real estate investment trust. We can be talking about short-term rentals, long-term rentals. We can be talking about house hacking. We can be talking about commercial space and triple net income. Today, I just want to talk about the basics of real estate investing, how to get in, how to get started, and where to go from there. So the very first thing that I want you to do is to get your own primary residence. If you already have that, try and think of some way that you can house hack it. What's some way that you can create income from your house? Can you rent out some space? Can you rent out a bedroom? Do you have a garage that you can convert? Can you rent it out on Airbnb? What can you do to make some additional income? You want to make sure that you're saving enough money so that you can put it toward the next property. One way that you can do that is by taking equity out of your current home. Right now, lots of people have equity in their homes. They would be able to take it out and put it toward a down payment on a new property. Now remember, if you're purchasing a house as a strict investment, you are probably going to have to put 20 to 25% down. If that's the case, you need to either save up a lot more money or you need to invest somewhere where putting 20 to 25% down is not a huge amount. I operate out of Southern California, and so if you live in Southern California and have a house currently, you are seeing the benefits of California real estate. It's a great thing to own California real estate, but it can also be quite a headache, honestly. If you're a landlord in California, the landlord laws for California are not landlord friendly. They all are tenant friendly. They're all trying to protect the tenant, which is great if you're a tenant, but we're talking about this as the landlord. So we may want to be more in those landlord friendly states. Now, if you already live in California, I would say do as much as you can to collect real estate in California because you definitely want to be taking advantage of that appreciation. Even if you live in a lower priced area of California, you're still gonna get that appreciation that's probably better than most of the US. So it's definitely a good thing to invest in California if you can. Now, I know that it can be hard, it can be expensive, but let me tell you my journey. My journey was that I started investing out of state because I said, I live in Southern California, there's no way I'm gonna be able to afford anything out here. At the time, I wasn't working in real estate yet, so I didn't understand all of these different concepts that I'm telling you now. So I bought out of state a fourplex. It's done great, it's done me well, but I had to buy in an area that was much lower priced so that we could afford that 20 to 25% down. Well, after that happened, I realized, hey, this process makes sense to me and I think I could do this. So I started the process of purchasing a primary residence in California. I was able to purchase my primary residence less than 6 months later. And because I did that at that point, I now have gained appreciation. So now I have options. What do I want to do? And I did house hack my primary residence. I Airbnb'd it, I rented it out, I let people stay because I wanted to get that extra income. I decided when I first bought my first primary residence that I wanted to have some type of income. And in my mind, I was thinking I would rent out one of the rooms. Well, I really just did not like the idea of having a roommate anymore. And so I said, you know what? I don't like the idea of having a roommate, but I don't mind the idea of renting the whole place out. So that's exactly what I did. And for about 2 years, I rented out my whole place. Now I live close to the beach, so it's a great place to rent out because lots of people want to come all year long. So I was able to have a lot of success with that, especially as I was getting started on my real estate journey. So once you have your primary residence, you may or may not be house hacking and getting some income generated from your primary residence. you can move to the next step, which is buying some other property, a rental property. Now, there are different types of rental properties you could get. You could get a single family house and rent out the whole thing, or you could get a duplex, triplex, fourplex. The beauty of getting a smaller multifamily is that you're still able to get conventional financing with that. Now, if you were to move into one of the units, then you really could do some house hacking and you could get FHA financing or first-time homebuyer financing and rent out the rest and have everybody pay your mortgage. That would be a great way to get started. I know a lot of people say it's cost prohibitive to get into a multifamily right away. I get that. That's why I say there are these other avenues for you to take to start building that wealth to be able to move into that area of investing. If you really cannot rent out your place, put it up on Airbnb, do something like that, hey, I totally get it. Another strategy that you can use to build some wealth in your primary residence is to get a fixer-upper. Now, the beauty of this is that you can also get a fixer-upper as a condo. And if you're more limited on funds, or you're a single person, or you're very extremely new to the game, this could be a really good place to start, because condo homeowners associations typically pay for the roof, foundation, and everything outside. So you don't have to worry about those typically big ticket items. But if you can go in and find something that's ugly and outdated, you can go and really make it a lot nicer in a quick period of time and do what we call a live and flip. And especially right now, you can take advantage of this market because you could move in, live in it for a while, and then move up. Now, if you do move out before 2 years, you do have to keep in mind that you may have to be paying capital gains taxes. Now, I'm not a tax professional, so talk to your tax advisor to get more information about that. But I will say that if you do need to move up within that time, you're generally still going to come out ahead. So I still recommend doing something like that. Now, if you've decided to do a live and flip, a nice thing about that is that you can take advantage of those low interest rates, take advantage of the low down payments, and have a lot of money to be able to do what you need to do to make the place what you want it to be, and then live in it for a while and then sell it and move on. Now, you have the option to sell it, or you can hold on to it as a rental. So if you hold on to it as a rental, you can just refinance in that way and then move on and still get the benefit of being a primary homeowner and getting those lower down payments and low interest rate. If you want to do the strategy of a live and flip and hold it as a rental, you really need to make sure that you run the numbers to make sure that it's going to be beneficial for you to rent it out. Sometimes, especially in this area around me, if you get a low down payment and then try and rent it out, you're not necessarily going to be getting any cash flow or even getting the same amount that you owe on your mortgage. So you want to make sure that you're able to refinance it or do something so that you know that you're going to be making a profit or you're going to be reaching your goals. What the live and flip does is give you the potential for making a lot of money, but still doing it through your primary residence. So when you go to sell, you can make all that money and take that either to the next one or to your next investment property. We're not going to get into 1031 exchanges and all the tax information here because I'm not a tax professional. Talk to your tax advisor about that. Now you're ready to buy your first multifamily property. You have your funds saved up. You've talked to your lender, you've gotten pre-approved, you know what you're looking for. Now, the very first thing you want to do is find a market where the rents make sense. We have what's called the 1% rule, meaning the rents cost 1% of the purchase price. And if that happens, you're generally getting a good deal. Now, that's not always the case because you may not always be getting a really good deal right off the bat. What a lot of investors do is go in and find some areas where things are being underutilized. So if you follow that 1% rule, you're generally going to be making money. But remember that it's not just in the money that you're going to be making right now. Real estate investing is also about the appreciation that you're going to get. And some people, depending on their goals, don't care about the cash flow at all. They just need to park their money. So if you're parking your money somewhere and you just want that appreciation, then it's okay if it's not necessarily going to cash flow right now. But remember that just because it doesn't cash flow today doesn't mean that it's not going to cash flow in the future. Rents are continuing to increase. Rents are continuing to go up across the country. And so if you say every time somebody moves out, I'm going to increase their rents, in 2 or 3 years, you're going to be cash flowing like crazy, even if it didn't cash flow that well the first day. Once you have your multifamily properties, you may want to move into the next stage, which is typically a larger apartment complex. As soon as you start adding doors within the same building, it makes things so much easier. You only have one roof to take care of. You only have one foundation to take care of. It does make it a little bit easier when you do that. Now, you may be thinking that having 30 more tenants means you have 30 times the headache, but that's generally not what happens, because as you have a bigger complex, you typically have people who are designated for those complexes to be the manager on site. They're the ones who really take care of everything for you. All the day-to-day, all the emergencies that come up. So it's really when you're a single family home investor and maybe a small multifamily that you're dealing with a lot of these things. Once you move into those bigger assets, you're not dealing with those nearly as much. The next thing that people typically move into is called a triple net lease, which is basically you're renting out storefronts. So you've purchased a strip mall, let's say, and you're renting out a storefront to Starbucks, and you're renting out a storefront to Jack in the Box, and you're renting out a storefront to an attorney, and you're renting out a storefront to a hair salon. They're going to be paying for everything, including real estate taxes, the building insurance, and maintenance. You don't have to do anything. All you do is collect those checks. So you can see as you progress, things get much easier. But you can also see that as you progress, things cost a lot more money. And so when you're first getting started, your goal is to save as much money as you possibly can to put it into that first real estate investment, to be able to just grow it and continuing to grow it to put it in the next step. Because you don't necessarily want to sit there and sit on equity if you're trying to build wealth. If you're trying to just be safe and sit on the equity that you have, that's totally fine. It's up to you and what your goals are. But if you're looking to build wealth in real estate, here are the steps to get you there. All right, that's it for today's video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any thoughts or comments about investing, write them below. I would love to hear what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.